I just came back from Morocco, and by traveling from north to south, by seeing different landscapes, meeting different people, I had the time and the space to reflect on certain topics that I already thought about in the past years. But I always think that the more you see, the more you visit, and you come in contact with different cultures or different environments from what you are used to, you can further expand your ideas and what you were thinking about something. So this was a great time by myself to actually go deeper on, as I said, different elements. And if you're interested about what I'm going to say, and I know by far I've just been very general, but if you're interested, please just keep watching the video after the intro. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Annette, and I'm here to help people to elaborate an independent interpretation of reality and trying to understand together how spirituality can be integrated in our everyday life. So as I said in the intro, I just came back from my trip in Morocco, and this video is not going to be a travel blog, but if you want any tips or just hear my experience, I can do a video about that. What I really want to talk about now is the main reflection I made. As I said, what I'm going to discuss now is not something that I never thought about, or maybe that you never thought about, but it's always nice to take topics and trying to take another perspective, or just maybe confirm what you were already thinking. So to start this reflection, I'm just gonna share quickly my itinerary just to understand. So I started from Marrakesh, and then I went down to the south and then southeast. So visiting the area where Berbers live, like the Atlas Mountains. Then I went down to the desert, and then I went up again to Fez, Rabat, and then Marrakesh. So basically, I transitioned from a city that is both the modern and the old side, and then I went down where basically I'm not saying nothing, but infrastructures are very limited, so the lifestyle of people is very rural and very simple. Then I went back to Fez, still kind of like Marrakesh, so still half and half. And then I went to Rabat, which is completely modern, and then I went back to Marrakesh. Okay, so there was this transitioning of lifestyles, how they also were observing and perceiving life. So what I'm going to say and the reflection I'm going to make is both based on my perspective, what I observed and what I think, but also because I talked with people as much as I could, because they were Moroccan people, speak Spanish very well. I didn't expect that, but Spanish very well. French, of course, and Moroccan, and there are different dialects. But I didn't really encounter people who spoke English, so to me it was a bit challenging in terms of having deeper conversations. But still, I could arrange something. So I met people that could speak a bit of English and Italian as well, and so I could get away with some information. What I observed, and of course it doesn't happen only in Morocco, again this is just an example, I went from, for example, Marrakesh, where you have people that live a regular life, they have their job, and either being in the Medina or in the modern part of the city. And then you had people that had of course, no money and no food, and they were maybe homeless people. You really see the discrepancy between people who can have a normal life, let's say, and people who really struggle. And of course, people who struggle can be most of the time victim of the system, but can also be, because maybe you did something wrong in your life, or, there are different reasons why someone can end up being homeless, or not having the resources to conduct a regular life. But then you have, so we have this first group. Then I had the opportunity to talk with some people that mostly came from the Atlas Mountains. And of course, we can say that was kind of a middle position. I'm going to discuss about three groups that I could individuate. and we can say they were more or less in the middle. So it means that they were okay with their life. Life there is very rural and simple, mostly based on agriculture and farming and tourism as well. But yeah, let's say that they were okay with their life, but of course, maybe you could get better, so maybe a bit easier. You get used to that lifestyle, but if you can have, heaters in winter, or, maybe less traveling during the day, less bodily fatigue, then it's better. So yeah, kinda, let's say, in good terms with their life, but if it could improve somehow, would have been better. And then I had the possibility to talk with people from the desert, and also another person still in the Atlas Mountains. I asked them, like, would you leave the desert to see other places? And have you ever traveled, And they were like, I actually love where I live. I haven't traveled. And they actually were very, they actually knew a lot about maybe other countries, because they talk, of course, with people, tourists and stuff, and they have also cell phones, but that didn't mean that they actually wanted to leave their place. So I had this person telling me, oh yeah, I traveled, I went to the desert, but the desert was like not that far. But for him, that was his longest journey, trip, whatever. And he was completely okay with being where he was, and he was from the Atlas Mountains, while the other people from the desert, they were like, no, I love the desert, I haven't traveled, I love where I live, the desert, it's my house, it's my home, it's where I belong to. And they were just like completely okay, and either with like the lifestyle, which again is not easy because the desert is even colder than the Atlas Mountains, at least at night, of course not during the day. And so you really see how they were completely integrated in where they were living. Well, now that we know how these people were living, and of course it's not deep research, it's just, some observations, some info I could get in these holidays. So again, I could have talked to other people and maybe they were telling me like, oh no, I hate this life, I just want to move to New York and change my life. So why I'm making these divisions? Well, actually, it actually came from kind of issue I have inside of myself that you might relate to as well. Because, as much as I love traveling, as much as I love meeting other people, and I've always, like, since I was a child, wanted to live somewhere else or just change my house continuously and living somewhere different every month, of course. First, I had to realize it's not that cheap to do, so not really a possibility. But also the fact that the more I was traveling and the more I was maybe also recognizing that I could agree and like feel better in certain traditions more than what it's maybe typical of my country or whatever, I got more and more attached to the place I was coming from. And realizing that, I criticize Western society a lot, but still I realize, well, actually, I am Western as well. And again, as much as I love other cultures and I can really feel comfortable with different cultures, still I realize that I'm actually Western. And that's not super easy, especially because, as I said, I criticize Western society a lot. It has a lot of faults, has a lot of problems to solve, like a lot, and especially causes a lot of problems to other countries as well. So it's not that easy to accept, at least for me, it was not that easy to accept that I am Western. At the same time, I criticize Western society so much. Apart from accepting more and more my origins, and I think really like for Western people that do realize how much problems our society creates to others, it's not really easy to accept the origins. But at the same time, you can't like, if you would just complain and criticize and like downgrading Western society because of certain issues, you would not see the beauty that Western society has as well. Making these realizations, I could apply these realizations to the groups of people I was saying and developing certain ideas. So when it comes to the first group, the one I said, like seeing like people that have a normal life and people who struggle to have food on their plate. Of course, I'm not saying our society has created like all the problems that are present in Morocco or in other countries. Of course, then it also comes to like internal political and economical system or whatever. But still, we have a degree of influence on the issues that are present in this world. So the reflection I'm making doesn't apply only to Morocco, every type of reflection. So Morocco was just like the inspiration. So when it comes to the conversation between the first group and Western society, and I talk for like where I come from. When it comes to the first group and this conversation, the goal, really important goal, is to improve the conditions, making a change, trying to find a different way of living, because that's just unsustainable. It keeps creating social issues, keeps creating pain and suffering in the world, so it has to change. So when it comes especially to the third group, so the people living in the desert or like the Atlas Mountains, but people that actually were in love with their lifestyle or whatever, where they were living and stuff. But also, let's say, also the second group. But to me, talking to them helped me to make peace with myself. I wouldn't say totally, because I feel I still have certain stuff to go through. But like, despite I didn't come from a situation where I had a lot of opportunities, still we have way more opportunities than other countries. And this to me was always hard to live with, because yes, I was super happy about my opportunities, I was taking them, I was making the best out of them, but I was still feeling very guilty for people that could not have that. So even if I was receiving something, I was like, yes, I love that, but I feel guilty because someone else doesn't have that. And of course, when it comes to, you know, like people that don't have opportunities because some countries are just taking out all the opportunities for themselves and they're like stealing from other countries, then of course, it's not good. And we should, as I said before, trying to find a way so that we all can get something in life. But sometimes what we make is just projecting our self, and that's actually what I was doing. Being aware of that, but I was still doing that, and I was trying to reflect and being like, yeah, you're maybe projecting. So I was aware of that, but I needed like the real life experience to really understand that. By saying like projecting my ideas on others, I mean like I'm a person who loves to travel, who loves to do different things in life. I get bored super easily. I always need to do something new. And I also have like a certain idea of how women and men should be or should consider themselves. And about this channel, how I am spiritual and I'm not religious. So all these ideas that can be considered Western, in terms of that as a Western society we have less strict rules on how to think and how we experience ourselves. And I was like, yeah, actually I think everybody wants that. That doesn't mean that we need to impose our lifestyle on others. But I was still like, yeah, maybe actually probably everybody would like to live the way we live. The way we live, I mean like not really like now, but like let's say in the best way possible, where everybody has heating and food and stuff, and we're not destroying the environment. But whatever, sorry, my head just thinks too many things at a time. But yeah, but when you talk with someone, because I would never live in the desert. Like, I love that. I would go back 100 times, but I could never live there. I'm sorry. Especially in winter, like, I'm dying, I'm freezing, I cannot. And people living there, they were like, I'm okay. I don't desire to live in another way. I'm fine with that. So why should I go away? Why should I travel? And then you realize you're like, oh, actually, the way I want to live doesn't apply to everyone, and fine. But that also made me reflect more on the uniqueness of myself, of my life, and the path I have in life, and why I'm on this planet. And also feeling less guilty. Again, without talking about people who opportunities have been stolen. Why feeling guilty of doing something such as traveling because they don't do that? Like, they don't want to do that. They are fine. They love their lives. So why should I feel guilty because of that? So in that case, I'm like, okay, actually, we're not all the same. And if I have this opportunity and I'm trying, and I try to avoid, exploiting sources and maybe, go to Dubai and just spending money on stupid stuff and like on, big brands and things like that. I'm just doing my simple, easy holiday where I sleep in hostels or I sleep like in the airport. I eat simple food. I barely spend money on stuff I would like to buy and bring home. I'm just like talking to people, exploring and stuff, trying to create less issues as possible. Then I'm like, why should I feel guilty for that? Because someone else doesn't want to. Well, if that person is fine with that, then it's fine for them that I also travel. It's just this realization that as much as I think traveling is great, as much as I think some stuff are great, they're not the same for everyone. And probably we are so much ingrained in this mentality that everybody would like to travel and things like that, that we think everybody wants that, but that's not really the case. This got me deeper into thinking about why we are here as souls in this body, in this specific moment, in this specific social, economical, political system. As I said, it's not something that I've never thought about. I actually think about this every day because, finding your path, it's not easy. Of course, we as souls have our own specific goal, and there's a reason why we are born in a specific place, in a specific moment, and things like that. But yeah, really realizing how much we can be different made me even more aware of why I'm here. I mean, the fact that my soul is the way it is, my personality is the way it is, what I like is the way it is, it's because I was supposed to be like that. And that doesn't mean I'm taking away stuff from others, because some people don't care about doing the things I want to do. And also the fact that me, as many other people, we are in this moment and we love to travel and we think about social issues, for example, then that would be another great reason why we are born in Western society, just to help changing things and to create something different, right? So creating a society where, despite you want to do the things you like, such as traveling or whatever, eating out, or like trying out new experiences, you can still do that by supporting others and trying to change the system we live in, because as it is now, it doesn't work. We know that, we see that. So otherwise, we would have been born somewhere else. For example, as I was talking about the desert, in the desert, and our goal there was probably not to change the Western society, but was to just enjoy life and living with simple stuff and, experiencing what they're experiencing and making the conclusions they're making. So, but if we, I'm saying we, I'm just thinking generally about me and people that actually maybe think like me, and I can imagine they might have similar thoughts, but yeah, maybe not. But like two people who can relate, let's say that. So yeah, that really helped me to understand more like why I'm here, why my soul is here, and making peace with like the opportunities I can have, and focus on trying to make my surroundings better and trying to give my contribute to improve the world in the sense of like Western society where I'm living. When I'm talking about these things, I usually have like images in my mind, and I really think about this world map where every country or whatever like area has its own color, and you can see like areas where the color is darker, so it's more like people that stay with their own traditions and old lifestyles, and like maybe transitioning areas where there's like where like the new and old ways, of course we can discuss about what is new, what is old, what is modern, what is not modern, but still they come together, or areas where like life is just completely different from the old ways. And I think the goal is always like to get to the best condition possible for everyone. But yeah, it goes in different ways with different interpretations and different actions. I just think it's great, and really becoming aware of your place in this world, and really becoming aware of the mission your soul has, being the simplest. Because also, you know, that's like a side note I'm making now, especially in the spiritual world, we always hear about like your soul mission, and it sounds like the most complex thing ever. And for some people it can just be, you know, living in the desert with barely nothing, and that's it. That's your soul mission, living there and keeping doing the same things and keeping like traditions alive, contemplating the desert, feeling close to God or to whoever you want. That's it. I hope this video was somehow clear, and you could like kind of understand the points. I try to make like logical sequence of ideas. Yeah, I hope that despite the digressions, it could still make sense. Yeah, if you really enjoyed that, just let me know, leave me a comment. And if you have any questions, or you would like to go deeper on a certain topic, on a certain things I said, just let me know. I'm hoping to do that, of course, as always. And yeah, just don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any other video. And if you want like this video, it would really help me. And also don't forget to follow my Instagram page, and I will leave that in the description below. And yeah, with that being said, thank you for having watched the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!